All right, so let's talk about riders. It's a thing. I know there have been a bunch of riders that leaked out that seem totally insane. Like, Rihanna really needs 2 types of Cheetos in her dressing room.
She loves Cheetos.
Apparently she does. Or like someone insists on having a white velvet couch backstage or whatever it is. I mean, that's only the tip of the iceberg. And of course, if you have a huge budget, you can dictate some of these things. But in general, can you just tell us like what a rider is, what a rider does?
Yeah. So a rider is a document that is sent to the venue ahead of time, and it requests the things that you would like to see that day. It tells how many dressing rooms you'll need, how many offices you'll need, what things in those rooms when it comes to furniture. Obviously, in an office, you want a desk, which generally is a 8-foot folding table that gets set up. It also goes through all of your hospitality requests, like all of the foods and drinks and ambiance type things that you would like. A lot of tours at this point have taken to carrying a lot of that stuff themselves when it comes to, the dressing room ambiance. It gets carried in a couple of hampers every day. It's an interesting document to write because it's often one of the most overlooked. Because a venue looks at it and they say, the most important thing is that we put the show on. So the technical writer is more important.
Right, which is a separate thing.
Generally, they're combined into one when they're sent to the building, but then they're broken down on their end. The tech writer goes through all of the technical aspects of what the requirements are. And then the hospitality writer is generally, we refer to it as the backstage writer. A lot of people, it's funny that, you mentioned a couple of things like Rihanna's 2 types of Cheetos and a white velvet couch, which could be really dangerous if you get both of those things in the same room, like Cheeto dust all over a white velvet couch.
Point taken.
A lot of times there are things that are written into the writer just to make sure that people are paying attention. I made a mistake very, very, very early in my career with one of the first bands that I worked for. Thought I was being funny, and I wrote, I would like one real live pirate. And I thought that was great. And nobody mentioned it when I was advancing, nobody brought it up. And for 3 shows in a row, we arrived, and the venues had someone dress like a pirate and follow me around all day, basically, which sounds great, except it's not like I tell that person to do anything for me. They're just like a shadow of a pirate. So you want to be really careful what you put in as, your attention getter. I think one of the really famous ones is the only brown M&Ms. And that was something written in just to make sure someone was paying attention. So when they advanced, someone should have gone, what if we can't find just all brown M&Ms? To show that they were paying attention.
And you can't build too much into it because we'll talk about this in the budgeting, but, it's not like the promoter's just willing to pay.
Free.
Yeah, it's not free.
The artist is actually paying for it. And a lot of people don't realize that, and a lot of artists don't realize that when they start giving their wish list of the full backstage bar that they would like. And, we'll get into the budgeting part of it, but you're also not buying those things that cost. It's not the same cost as if I went to Target and bought it. It's an upcharged amount, especially when it comes to food and beverage.
Which, of course, people are going to make money however they can.
Your bottle of Jack Daniels that's, $25. When it gets charged from a venue, it's upcharged through a hospitality company that it's basically bottle service. So it turns into a $150 bottle of Jack Daniels.
Totally. But, even on like a small level where you just have a small rider, having certain things you can rely on every day.
Creature comfort.
It makes it more like home to show up, and it feels more comfortable and all that. So,
which is ultimately the point of it. It is ultimately the point that there are things that you can expect consistently and build some kind of consistency and stability throughout your day.